My name is Antonio Vargas, but that's my artistic name, given to me by a lady in Spain. I joined a company and became one of her dancers. My proper name is Aimé Honoré Azoulay. I come from a Sephardic background. My grandfather was a theologist, author, and he had his own synagogue in Casablanca. The great thing about the background and culture is quite interesting because the Jewish history is quite involved. My family were living in Casablanca and we moved to Marrakesh. My father was a musician and he was given an opportunity to work in the US American base near Marrakesh to look after the band, the brass band, and arrange music. And I used to make friends with some of the boys and girls, and one of the young ladies there invited me to one of the houses where there was flamenco fiesta. And I thought, wow, this is amazing. I was so taken by the whole thing, you know. But because my father insisted on me being a musician, having piano classes, I was playing the piano and thinking about the other thing, this flamenco. Well, my father decided to go to London, emigrate. So we were put into a Jesuit college in Chislehurst, Kent. Me, Jewish background, Catholic school. Very strange. But I was able to adjust myself and not think about the difference of really, because after all, you know, we're all the same people. If we have different beliefs, that's okay. We were transferred to a college in Norwood. It's a Jewish college, actually. And there I started learning the violin and ballet, which was quite strange because I was the only boy in the class. And I didn't want to wear long tights, I just wear shorts, you know. So very, very conscious of myself. That led me eventually to a very definite reason why I wanted to dance. My aunt, at the age of 12, took me to a show, flamenco dance company, Pilar Lopez. And there I saw this young dancer, El Guito. And I looked at this thing with absolute awe and I think, I think I can do this. Why not? I can do this. So I started to go to my school on the hall at night and practice with hard shoes with records that I picked up on flamenco. And this particular one was the Carmen Amaya, Queen of the Gypsies with Sabicas. And I played it over and over and over, the footwork, the sounds. After a while, I decided to go and search for dance class, flamenco. And I went to this academy where there was Elsa Brunelleschi, who was a Bolshoi choreographer for Spanish segments, and had her own academy there. And I went there and looked in, and I started actually studying seriously. By the time I was 16, she said to me, Antonio, you know, you've learned so fast. I want to introduce you to this lady. I'm sure you're going to enjoy meeting her. Her name's Pilar Lopez. I said, oh, Pilar Lopez. Oh, I saw her in the theater. Oh, yeah. I want you to dance for her one little piece. All right? She's coming in half an hour. So she gave me this white flamenco suit, which belonged to Lucilia. Oh, my God, this is fantastic. Oh, flamenco suit. Oh, I felt so good, you know. And the lady comes in, and so I danced for her. And she went to my teacher and she said, can I have this boy to come to Spain? I want him to join us. He's very, very, very good, got potentials. So I told my father, he said, you cannot. He said, dance is not for men. I said, what? What about the ballet dancers? He said, don't. You must be a musician. So I spoke to my mum to try and convince him. And eventually, by the time I was 18, after so many classes, I went to Spain and I joined the company. Eventually, by the time I got to 22, I thought, you know, I'd like to do something different. And I formed a company, a dance company. And I started getting work, festivals in Spain, and one occasion I was in Madrid performing, and this young, he was young then, promoter by the name of Harold Fielding, who actually did Fiddler on the Roof later in London, was so interested that he asked me if I was available for a contract, exclusive. So I said yes. So in May, I get my dancers, we go to London, we arrived there, and he said, tomorrow you're going to be on television with the Beatles. The Lennon-McCartney special. They want a song, She Loves You, Yeah, 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 in tangos. I said, oh, that's easy, sure. So I tell the boys and the girls, hey, tomorrow we're going to the studio in Manchester, okay, TV studios, and we do the performance. From that moment, it made me a household name. I couldn't believe it, how much work came out of that around the whole of Europe. After a while of working, years went by, and I decided to go to New Zealand through the invitation of one of the heads of the ballet to help with the choreography of Carmen. Then I was invited to Australia, Brisbane, the Gold Coast, to perform in this wonderful hotel that became eventually the casino by Ivan Damon, who was a promoter. And he said to me, Antonio, I'd like you to put your company together and perform in this place. And this was a huge venue, like Granada, caves everywhere. Eventually, I thought to myself, you know, I like this place. So I started going around, and one day I see this flour mill for rent, for lease. So I got to see the guy. I said, how much is it? Yeah, very, very good, very good. Blah, blah, blah. 12-year lease, signed, boom, boom. Got. So I convert these 4 floors into a dance and art center. Very soon, this word got around, and I started getting a lot of students. And my passion was, of course, to create works like I did with my old company. Yeah. So that was quite a challenge. So I trained and did classes after classes, and then we started doing little productions, and eventually I chose the best of the dancers, and we created my first big production, Chronicles of a Death Foretold. But to that, I have to have the rights. So I found the agent, and I wrote to the agent and asked him permission to use this book, this wonderful book. And she sent my material to Garcia Marquez, and he sent me a telegram saying, of course, this is a very interesting idea, but you're going to find my work difficult because it goes up and down, down and up and down. So I said, don't worry, my agent said, you'll manage. Then out of that, in that studio, turns up an opportunity. Carmen Opera, Harvey Goldsmith's huge opera with an incredible bull ring, and Jose Carreras and Maria Ewing, all these fantastic artists. So I called my company, called Spain, come over, I've got a job for you to do, and plus my own dancers included. And so we did Zurich, Munich, London, Tokyo, we were all over the place. And then I got an invitation to do a workshop in Australia, in Perth. And I thought, Perth, yeah. in a monastery, Spanish monks, New Gnosia. And I did this workshop. Massive amount of students turned up, including one group from Singapore. Rose Bermundo, the teacher that taught Spanish classical dance in Singapore, brought these girls, Tilly, Daphne. It was quite amazing. Then at the end of the workshop, we did the performance. So we used to talk at night after in the big cafeteria and speak. And Tilly, who's a multi-talented dancer, but now a very good flamenco dancer, said to me, why don't you come to Singapore? Because your work is, we've never seen anything like this. I said, sure. No. So I come to Singapore the first time, I did a workshop, I get an offer for a role of a movie as a gypsy father in Strictly Ballroom. And I was teaching actually Paul Mercurio to do flamenco and Tara Morris, the lady, main stars, to perform the flamenco thing in a school, in a movie. From that, I get the role, and I appear in this Strictly Ballroom movie, which is what I didn't expect to do. Out of that, a gentleman, Harv Bennett in America, sees my face in the movie and asks his manager to come and see me to offer me a role as a gangster in Time Treks. Gangster. You know, I never acted, actually. Then I decided to go to Germany, where I was invited also to do a workshop, massive one. I see the place, and like everywhere else, I liked it. So I stayed a bit longer, and I come across one day's walk, a university area, and I see this theatre for rent. I said, whoa, this is amazing. Theatre for rent. So I go in. Yes, I want to have this. So what did I do? I opened it as a studio daytime and performing theatre at night. And while I was there in Germany, I was invited to do many things. We did theatres, of course. We did a House of Bernardalba. We did flamenco shows. Invited by the Prince of Bavaria to organize a Spanish fiesta in this 10,000-seat arena in his castle. 60 dancers, 8 singers, and 8 guitar players. So we staged everywhere in the castle, all these shows. And the last night was sharing me dancing a rumba with the Gypsy Kings. While I was in Germany doing all this, all that, performances, theatre, I get a phone call from Tom Cruise's manager that he saw me in a Hollywood Bowl in a Strictly Ballroom and he wants me to be in his movie and do the choreography for the Spanish segment. The funniest thing is when the movie finished, Tom Cruise says, "Yeah, do you want the set? I'll give it to you for $1. Wow. Can you imagine this beautiful Andalusian tiles, perfect, so I picked up 3 trucks and I took half of the set and put it in storage. Arches, God, you know, this was incredible. Again, I started to think about my dance teaching. I thought, you know, I've done so much dancing, so much performance. I think it's time that I should want to share my knowledge and continue with giving workshops. So I did so. I went around America giving workshops. I did a lot of unusual style of classes. I used to teach my students from day one how to walk and perform, expression. That's very important to communicate with an audience. First lesson you teach. You know, you don't just walk like that. You walk like that. You feline, yeah. So that was then the thing about being in Singapore, that I was invited to Singapore, then I stayed there, and while we were doing the workshop, we hit it. We got very friendly, and you know, we opened a little to each other, tell each other stories, and we communicated well, so it became slowly a relationship. And that's when I decided to stay for good. And we created in Geylang a studio called Flamenco Sin Fronteras, which is the name of the company, that has done so much in such a short time. All the teaching that I did when I was first here, I opened their eyes to the structures, to the attitude that flamenco needs, and we created a very good crew. You know, we had, fortunately, we had even Japanese members. Toshi, who sings and dances and plays piano, he's multi-talented. We have had from Taiwan a female singer, flamenco singer, and guitarist, a male. So we managed to organize productions. The House of Bernardalba. We did even the Chinese elements, fusing the Chinese culture with the Spanish culture. The Indian culture, Kathak, with the Spanish culture. I always had this fascination about other cultures and wondered what I could do with it, with my flamenco experience. I even did a show with the tap dancers. That was quite challenging, actually. So the idea of forming this group for me was something I wanted to achieve, because all these memories that I had from my past that made me what I am today is a result, is the final product of this wonderful company that has done so much theatre. We've done flamenco high mass. Ooh, I can't even imagine how many, a lot. And this group has shown that you do not have to be a Spaniard or a Spanish gypsy to dance flamenco. All you have to do is embrace the culture, understand the singing, and listen to the music, and interpret. So as a choreographer, I want to stay a choreography, because, you know, you come to a time in a life stage that the body, you know, has taken its toll. I'm in 84 years now, so I'm thinking, I think you just stay in the background, give these people an opening, and let them go for it. So in order to conclude my speech, really, is that I have to say, when I look back, it was all possible already there. The destiny just made it happen. All is possible. Mindset, passion, and determination, of course, and consistency. So for me, in the future, I see the hope of this wonderful group that's done so much to extend itself to perform the Chinese elements with flamenco in a big way, in a big production, get sponsor for it, and make it happen. And I would like to be part of that journey with them. That also includes the journey with my children, who are exceptional, talented, and very loving. So for me, as I say, whatever you look at, think about it, that is possible. Thank you.